All right, Javier. Here's your the Xbox menu style system that we're going to be using. We have. I'm going to try to video this and play this at the same time. So we're going to jump. You see that little green dot there on the left, where it says Programs and Videos. You go up and down. We're gonna choose Programs, and we're going to go to the first icon there. That's Games, little hard drive style thing there. I'm going to jump in there, and we just push the A button. We're going to go down to coinop 5, and we have one other one that is called Final Burn Legends. That's the other one that has all the games that you were asking about. With the Final Burn Legends, I'll probably show you that one because the list goes a little faster. There's just a ton of games, so it's going to be something else here to go through every game. But I want to show you how it works and how simple it is to jump in and out. All right, so this will be your menu. You'll be able to see everything on here. You see a little Chun-Li there. You're gonna go to your select game list, and you're gonna see here. You can see a screenshot here in the arcade that's off to the side. You see a screenshot of every game that you choose. So you can just keep going, scrolling down, and you can see all the. Oh man, that's really fast. Let me go back up here. Trying to go down slowly, but I guess slow is not this thing's style, so I'm gonna go down, and you could always pause and slow down the video if needed. So I'm gonna go down, and I believe there's 2,500 or 3,000 games on this style. So I'm just gonna keep going this speed, and again you could always pause or whatever whenever you like. But I will stop at some of the games, like some of the 4-player games like NBA Jam, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're looking for that one. And every one of the games that shows up here does work on the game, so that's really neat. We did a little test to make sure that only the games that work show up here, so you're not jumping into a game and thinking, oh crap, that doesn't work. So there we go, we're going to Marvel vs. The Metal Slugs. There's Miss Pac-Man on there too. Let's see. The Street Fighters. Slowing down a little bit. There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 4-player. So we'll jump into that so you can see how it works and how it looks. So I know that was one of the big ones you wanted to make sure that you had. So this is the actual ROM check that the original arcades have. That's what happens. Every arcade, real arcade, does that. So it's nice to know that every ROM in here is an actual arcade. So that's cool. And we're playing this on a TV, so we actually have that going out, so it's neat. Alright, so what I'm going to do is insert a coin here, and the Leonardo one. Alright, let's go see the game. Just push start just to get it going. Alright, so there's the first player. Also, you could go left and right. Just have one hand to video and to play with, and it's not easy. I just got beat up really good there. Anyway, I'm just playing with one hand, man. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that I could show you how this thing all plays, and that you can actually get all 4 players to work up here. Um, we have quite a few of these guys here. So you have the 1, 2, 3. The idea, the hardest part is to get number 3 and 4 to work, and we actually have that happening. We have these guys now, so we could put down number 3 just worked. So we're gonna start that guy. You should have number 3 go up, and then player 4 should come up now. And all I'm doing is switching out the controllers here, just to show you that it works. And there it is, number 4. So that's one of the main ones that we usually have an issue with, trying to make the 4 players work at the same time. And so just wanted to show you that it does work, and there it is. Let me do one other thing here really quick. And I'm gonna jump. What I'm gonna do is jump out of the game. Let me set this down real quick. Oh. There you go. That might really work. Well. There you go. We're going to jump out of there and get ourselves moving here and go back to what it does. It jumps you back to the programs, and I think I'm going to have to hold that up again. Back to the programs. I'm going to jump back in. And go back to the game. So once you're inside one of the arcades, inside one of the arcade games, because it's a real arcade game and it loads it up, it's gonna, and you jump out of the game. You have to press a few buttons here to jump out. It'll completely jump you out, all the way back to the main menu, which is okay because you do start all over, but it starts you exactly where you left off, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So you don't have to go back and forth and look. It doesn't start you back from the A's, so that's really neat. And again, we're going to keep scrolling downward, and that way you can see where we're at with these guys. Let me do this real quick. One little thing I got to do. So, okay, I had to switch from player 4 to player 1 again to go back down. But I'll be the only one having to do that here. But once your machine's ready, you won't have to worry about that. So we're gonna keep on going. You got all the King of Fighters, man. Check that out. That's a big one for us. The Simpsons, 4 players. And that one works too. I've tested that one. So everyone from now on that says 4 players around here, they all work as a 4 player. Now there's this game list. There you go. Vendetta. It's another fighting game. That has a 4 game list too. I'll lower the volume here a little bit, and I keep going down, and it goes all the way down. So that's all the way there, man. That's the bottom of the list. So we're gonna go back. All I did is push B on the thing here, and it just takes us back. Gonna exit all the way. Then we have. Go back to programs, and we'll show you the coinop 5. Now there's 2 hard drive systems in here. It's going to have these games and these games. The games too, it has the Nintendo games and all that good stuff in it. So that's really neat. Now what we're going to do is go in here, and you can see like it has all the games for Atari. The 5200 has Atari 7800. All the games for that. It has Beats of Rage. That's an actual game system. I'm sorry. A game. These are game systems: Commodore Amiga, ColecoVision. I'm sure you've probably heard of those guys. Nintendo 64. There's games in there, and there's a lot of games in each one of these. The Sega CG. It's got the Master Systems. It's got Spectrum. It's got so many systems that people that don't normally even remember. But we're gonna go into the coinop 5 one here. That's the other arcade game list. So we're gonna go in there real quick. And this list too, it's got a ton of lists. What's really cool about this list is that it shows you a lot more. These are the only two lists you actually really need to know about. This list will allow you to go, if you could see this corner here, it says arcade. Well, here in this other corner, it says sort by arcade or home. So you can actually go through all these games and get yourself the home system. And down here in the bottom corner, it'll tell you what year they came out, what system it's for. It says Midway because this is all an arcade. But if I switch it, to from arcade there, I can switch it to home. There it is. I think I zoomed in good enough there. I can switch it from home to arcade, arcade to home. There it is, home. And it'll switch from there back to arcade. So if you go there, it says one of 1,920 games on here. If you go back to home, there's 1,943 games. And here's what the cool part is. So you got like games like Cool Borders 1080 in there. You have the Nintendo 64. So it has certain versions, the best versions of each game on here, taken out. So there's just a ton of games. So if you remember playing certain games on the system, I mean, it's really neat. Like it even has Game Boy Advance Nintendo style home action scrollers. You know, it shows you a few things. So as you're moving, we'll go to something that you may. And a lot of these are that you may remember. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff in here, man. Blades of Steel. I think we were talking about Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. So we could go to the. I think we could fly on this thing. So it was really fast. So there's Donkey Kong. Yeah, Donkey Kong is in there. Doom is in there. Wow, I forgot about that one. Super Nintendo version. We have the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country. So alright, I'm gonna keep going here. Have Double Dragon. Dragon's Curse. Duck Hunt. Earthworm Jim. There's just a ton of games in this thing. It's really neat. So we're going to try to make this all work out. And I think we're going to come up to the Indiana Jones one here. But again, this is the home version. So there is Indiana Jones arcade version and the home console version, which I believe you played on the home console. But this is on the Amiga. This is the old school one. And here's the one for the Mega Drive, the Sega Mega Drive system. So either way, there's a ton of games in here. I have the game list here. You can keep watching. I'll go all the way to the end for the. This is for the home consoles. So there's all the games here. Every game here works on the home console as well. And what I'm going to do is after we reach the end, we'll go back to the arcade versions. I know those are the most important ones, but these are the really cool ones that it shows that some of the games you'll remember and be like, hey man, I remember that. So you could play it with this. I mean, there's Ninja Gaiden, man, there's a ton of games. And again, you could pause at any time, rewind and fast forward. So you can kind of see the names if it's too fast. I'm just trying to keep the video under like 20 minutes. I'm at 14 minutes now. And they're still going. Oh. Super Mario Brothers, every Mario Brothers that was on arcades, I mean, on the video game systems back in the day. There's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles style again. I know that's a big one for you guys. And again, these were only 2 players. The home console only had 2-player versions. And you could tell the graphics were a little different too, like we were talking about. The graphics were like 16-bit, 8-bit. You know, they weren't really sharp. You could play a lot of shooting games on here too with the joystick, which is neat. The joystick controls the pointer, so that's neat. This game's like virtual racing there, so that's cool. Just a ton of stuff. I think we're at the end. Okay. So what we're going to do is jump out of here and go to the arcade one now. It's going to say home. It still says home there. I'm going to go back to the arcade. And that way you can see all the arcade games in here. And again, these are the real arcade style ones. Tells you the year in the bottom, so that's really neat, man. It's very fast. What's cool is that if you stop on a game, it automatically opens up that game on the screen. It tells you what year it is, what year it was built or made. That way you know what game it is. Sometimes you're like, hey, that was from 1983 or 1986, and that's not the right one or whatever. And that way you kind of figure out which game was the one you were looking for. There we go. And this one has 1,920 games. You can see up top there, arcade games. About 16, 17 minutes now. I'm going to be loading this on YouTube here. That's sending it to you. The game list is pretty darn long, man. I'm only in 500s, 600 now. And again, every one of these games do work on here. There's games on here that don't work on other systems that work on here because of the speed. They're just the processor in this thing is just amazing. There's games on here that people look for that are very rare, like Dragon's Lair 1 and 2, Space Ace. They used to use a laser disc, not just a regular arcade hard drive or a PCB board, but an actual laser disc, and that's in here and works. They're really hard, very rare game. So it's really cool to have this. I just stopped to change the game up a little bit. And it's like I showed you in the home version, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles doesn't have a 4-player game on the home console. The arcade version is the only one that has the 4-player system, the 4-player capability. So that's where we're going to go to now. That's one of the reasons it's really hard to make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles work on a 4-player thing. So let's see if we could find this here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. There you go. So yeah, you can see there a screenshot has player 1, 2, 3, and 4. Only arcade games have 4 players. That say insert coins. Obviously, that's pretty darn important there. It shows insert coins the whole way through. So I'm going to keep on going here. I think the red on this TV is going out. It's big TVs, so all kinds of stuff's happening. You never know. So I'm going to tease there. We're just under 20 minutes now, 30 seconds more to go. And I guess it really doesn't matter how long it takes, but I think my limit's 27 minutes. Yeah, so I'm gonna once we get done with this, we'll jump out and I'll show you the other menus, so you can jump into other games. It has like games like Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas. Oh, there we go. Let me put this down. Oops. Where's that? I'm going to jump out of here. It's loading up. And again, there's so much information on this thing that it has to go through the menus and the systems, and it does a reboot. It's pretty much what it did. And go back into programs. I'm just gonna set this thing up here, the little camera. You guys can see it, see the screen, see what we're doing here. And what we do is go down to games 2. And this guy shows a lot more now, so we're going to go in here and show you some of the other extra games it has. Here it has Baldur's Beyond Good Evil, Duke Nukem, Fatal Frame. It has San Andreas, like I was saying, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 3, Galleon, Doom, Doom 3. It has Half-Life, Halo, Neo Geo CD, the Mortal Kombat pack, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4. It has some PlayStation games, which is kind of cool. It has all the TurboGrafx 16. So these are the game lists. So if it says PlayStation, it has PlayStation games in it. It has the majority of them, a lot of them actually. The Sega, it has Sega CD, so it has a lot of the Sega CDs, if not every Sega CD. TurboGrafx 16, if you remember that one, that's one of my favorites growing up. It's an actual game system. And these are games. They're Xbox games. It's called Splatterhouse for the Xbox. So there's a lot of games that are preloaded on here. So it's kind of neat. This kind of shoots you back out to the main menu. Now another thing you can do is go back down. I think that you could go down to Mugen here, and there's another game in here that you can start in there, and it just has a ton of stuff in there. So there's and again, I got to jump in everything and jump back out. So it takes a lot of time. I'm at 22 minutes now, so we'll go back to the main menu. So this one has all the old school arcades, and these guys show you everything it has in here. It has the Atari 2600, it has the Atari Lynx, the Neo Geo, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, the Jaguar. It has a lot of stuff in there. So it has all those games, and it has all the games for all these other guys too. The ColecoVision, Amador, and all the arcade stuff, Nintendo 64, so just wanted to show you guys that, and we're at 22 now, but yeah, just wanted to show you how that worked and how you jump in and out, and it's pretty cool the way it works, and there's just so many games in there. It's really awesome. You could also still use the DVD drive on the Xbox to be able to allow you to play other games, and it will allow you. Oh, this is the. I'm going to go down here real quick. This is the arcade stick that we'll be using. So you'll be having 8 buttons on your controller, not just 6. You'll have 8. Plus, what we do is we take this whole thing apart and reinstall it. This is your select button, your coin button. You have another button back here that doesn't really matter, but these are the most important ones. And this one over here on this side has your coin select screen. And it was just in our shop. I just pulled it back out. It's pretty dusty, but we're going to take all the joysticks and buttons off of here, the first and second start buttons out of here, and relocate them on your 4-player control panel. So essentially what we're going to do is, just as you see them here laid out, we're going to lay them out exactly like this on your control panel, and then we're going to take this whole thing and just make you a wing this way. So you will put the other joystick and 8 buttons on this side. So you have all your buttons here and all your buttons here. So we have another one of these, and we're just going to build you another one that's just like this guy, but it has a wing that actually cuts over here. So the control panel would be pretty darn large. This thing is 12 inches from here to here. And we'll be able to cut it off here and make it drop down and make it a little bit narrower. This is a little high too, so we could bring it down maybe half an inch. And we'll be bringing this thing across. I believe this is like 2.5 feet wide. So in overall, what we're going to do is make this about 28 inches. That's our goal, to make it about 28 inches there. So Anyway, just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we were going to do with it. And again, it's just a regular Xbox that we have, but it's not a regular Xbox. I should take that back. It's a completely modified Xbox. That's what we're going to be installing in this guy. So it's pretty neat. You can still open up the DVD drive and put in a DVD movie or actual Xbox game in there. So that's cool. You can pretty much put anything in there, even PC games. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, PC games could be played through there as well. So there's a little app in here that you can turn on and do that too. But I know that you're primarily interested in the arcade stuff, so there it is. So hope you like it. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call and or text me or whatever, and we could kind of email back and forth and figure out what else you'd like to get done. So we'll talk to you later. Have a good day.